Lions versus Packers Week 17 review. It's time to wrap this season up. So, of course, let's jump right into this game. So, once again, this Lions game, it was just another game of, rookies playing due to the injuries. It was just a meaningless game for the Lions that meant nothing. It meant more to the Packers than it did to the Lions, since the Packers are playing for a round one bye. The start of this game, the Lions got off to a hot start, including a Danny Amendola fake jet sweep touchdown pass to David Blow. Yeah, that was actually a really good fake play. I'll give Darrell Bevell, that was a really good call by him. Hey, Darrell Bevell shows why he should stay on the coaching staff. Solid offensive coordinator, solid job from him. Of course, in this game, the Packers' offense the first half played like utter shit. Like, they struggled that entire first half. Lions jumped out to a 14-point lead. But just when the fans thought the Lions were sabotaging their draft pick, Aaron Rodgers hit his famous comeback music, where Aaron Rodgers then decided it was time to come back and bail his sorry-ass scrubs out of trouble, and carried them to relevance once again, just like he carries Matt LaFleur to relevance. Like, let's be real, Green Bay still is one guy carrying a team of overpaid scrubs. So Green Bay roars back from that 14-point deficit. The Lions once again blow yet another fourth quarter lead. The definition of insanity. 7th time this year the Lions have blown a fourth quarter lead. Like I said, the problem with the Lions this year is not only the injuries, it's just the fact that the Lions just cannot find a way to finish these games. They cannot find a way to finish the job. And it's really shown how much that's affected them. Like, the Lions have been in every single game this year. They've led in 14 out of 16 games this year. Only 3 games have been decided by double digits. Like, the Lions have been in these games. It's just trying to find a way to finish them. And they just haven't gotten the job this year, and it showed once again. As at the end, Mason Crosby hit a 33-yard game-winning field goal as time expired. The Packers win, they get their round one bye. And so, of course, with the Lions loss, it meant they were guaranteed at least the 3rd pick. So anything that happened between Miami and the Giants was completely irrelevant to the Lions. The one note out of that is that the Patriots do not have a round one bye for once. Wow, shocking. New England actually has to play in the wild card round for once. Damn. Damn it, New England was just one game short of having a decade of first round byes. It's okay, New England. Now you get to earn it the hard way. Now you actually get to play, so that this year, if you do win that 7th ring, then there's no more excuses this time. But anyway, moving on for the Lions, they still have the shot, the 2nd pick. They needed some help, though, as the Redskins were playing a game against the Dallas Cowboys. A game for the Cowboys that had meaning, considering the Cowboys were still playing for the NFC East title. For the Redskins, they could do nothing. The Cowboys beat the living dog shit out of them 47-16. So the Redskins will get the 2nd overall pick. Detroit will finish 3rd. So Detroit, for once, didn't sabotage their draft pick just to beat Green Bay. Shocking. Like I said, I really didn't care if we won or lost this game. If we won, hey, it meant that Green Bay wouldn't pull a sweep on us and Green Bay wouldn't sweep the entire division. But that was not the case. Here's the bad news, Green Bay. You still didn't get first seed because San Francisco beat Seattle. But in terms of Dallas' standings, Dallas' ass whooping on the Redskins was still not enough to beat the Eagles out for the NFC East. So with the Eagles winning the division, that meant I got 4 out of 6 division winners right this year. Yeah, I actually got 4 out of 6 this year, and last year I only had 2 right. So yeah, the 4 division winners I got right were the Patriots, Texans, Saints, and the Eagles. I know some of you laughed at me when I said the Eagles. But there was a reason why I didn't trust the Cowboys. Maybe now, Dallas, with you missing the playoffs, you can finally get a real head coach in there. But we'll have to see. It's looking very likely since Jason Garrett told all the staff with expiring contracts to seek employment elsewhere. And Jerry Jones will have a decision within the next 24 to 48 hours. Please, Dallas, fire Jason Garrett. It's okay, Garrett. You'll probably end up on the Giants anyway. So yeah, with the playoffs set and now the offseason for the Lions officially beginning, the Lions, they got a lot of decisions to make in the offseason. A lot of players scheduled to be unrestricted free agents, over around $50 million in cap to spend. And there's now talks about will Snacks Harrison finally retire? Because there's been reports that Snacks' body is aging. And that he might be forced to retire due to injuries. All I say is, Snacks, is if your body cannot keep up, just hang it up, man. Hang it up, man. Like, your health is more important. Like, you gotta think about your life and health long term. But yeah. And of course, this free agency and draft will be critical for the Lions to decide their future. I know, a successful free agency and draft could set them up for the next decade. A bad free agency and draft, and it could put this team a couple years behind the 8 ball. All I say is, though, the defense needs a lot of playmakers and a pass rush. The Lions need to get a pass rusher in the offseason, without a doubt. And he also needs some secondary help for the pass game. But yeah. And of course, this ends yet another decade of Detroit sports, as the 2010s have officially come to a close. As this is probably one of the most forgettable decades for Detroit sports. The first time since the 70s that a Detroit team has not won a championship. But at least the 2020s bring hope for at least the Red Wings and Tigers. The Lions is a wait and see, and the Pistons, well, they're at a crossroads. We'll have to see what happens, though. And of course, there are fans that still want Martha Ford to sell the team. For the love of God, fucking give it up already. It's not going to happen. In fact, this little sign was spotted at a WWE show in Detroit last week, where a fan wanted Vince McMahon to buy the Lions. Vince McMahon? Where in your right mind do you think Vince buying the Lions is a good idea? That old bastard can't even run a wrestling company right. Hell, that old fuck has ran WWE to the ground and made that company a complete and utter shit show. He would take the Lions and make it 10 times worse than it already is. Fuck, he even ran XFL into the ground within 1 year. And no shit, XFL comes back during the 2020 offseason. And then he's probably gonna run it into the ground again. Unless Vince McMahon somehow gets a fucking brain and does not repeat the same mistakes. But then again, this is Vince McMahon we're talking about. Like, seriously, I'll say this. This fan base is something alright. There's something alright. Can't put my finger on it, but there's something. And oh yes, we are going to talk about that Martha Ford letter a couple weeks ago. And talk about what it means going forward for the Lions. But yes. All I say is this sell the team Martha thing going to become the new sell the team Dolan shit? Is this going to become a new meme? I need my liquor bottle. Damn it. But yeah. That about wraps it up here. And of course, we had Black Monday, of course. With all the head coaches firing. Well, we still have no decision on Jason Garrett and the Cowboys. But odds are Garrett's going to be gone. But we did have 2 firings. Let's go over both of them. So we had Pat Schumer was fired from the New York Giants after 2 seasons and posting a 9-23 record. Here's the difference between John Mara and Martha Ford. Martha has patience. John Mara does not. John Mara does not have patience and time for a process to be trusted. He demands immediate results, despite the fact the Giants are in a rebuild. He still demands immediate results, especially when New York is the biggest sports market in the world. But it's alright, Giants. You're probably going to end up with Jason Garrett, because the Giants have shown interest in Garrett if he becomes available. For some reason, the Giants also have retained Dave Gettleman. Let us move on, though. And of course, the other firing was from the Cleveland Browns, where the Browns have fired rookie head coach Freddie Kitchens after 1 season. Cleveland, welcome back to being the complete and utter shit show of the NFL. Congratulations, Cleveland. You showed what not to do. You do not fire a rookie head coach after 1 season. That is how your franchise becomes a complete and utter shit show. It also shows the flaws of the Dan Rooney rule. I know Freddie Kitchens had some terrible player relationships with the likes of Baker and Odell and company, and he was pretty undisciplined with the team and was not that good, but to only give him 1 year, I said it before and I say it again. When someone is gone that quickly, somebody fucked up the hiring process. But yeah, that does it here. We now got the NFL playoffs upon us, as we now have 12 teams locked into battle to hoist the rights of the Lombardi Trophy. I will have my playoff prediction video up in my bracket in a couple days. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up here for another Lions season. Of course, as the picture says here, thank you to all the fans that have stuck with the teams through thick and thin. And fuck all those fake-ass Lions fans that only want to root for the team when they're winning. But man, just another rough, weird Lions season that was plagued by injuries. You know, they'll be a lot better next year. Like, you can't do any worse than this, right? Right? And by the way, before I end this off, thoughts and prayers with Marvin Jones's family. I heard about his youngest son passing the other day. Like, that's very sad when you lose a kid. Especially your youngest one, like, that's sad. Thoughts and prayers with Marvin Jones' family. But yeah, the off-season is here. Of course, for the off-season, not much Lions content to go over here. I will still do videos on the Red Wings and the Pistons still. The Tigers, they come back in a couple months. You know, winter training, spring training starts at the end of February. So, but yeah, it's time to move out of the 2010s and look forward to the 2020s. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope everyone's a great day, and yeah, peace out.